Hey there, this is Holly with National Fastpitch Academy, and the topic of this video is Dingeritis. So, Dingeritis is a word to describe home run sickness. Um, and I think I've invented this word. I've been using it a long time. I'm not going to tell you how many years I've been using it, but I've been using it quite a long time when, as a college head coach and as a hitting instructor, when hitters are just trying too hard to hit home runs. And there are three parts, three components to Dingeritis as far as what they're trying to do. Clearly, to hit a home run, we got to lift it. So a hitter is trying to elevate the ball in the air. The second part is we have to hit it hard so that we're overswing. And the third part is usually they're going to try to pull it. You don't have to have all three components. The pulling part is not required. Sometimes hitters will overswing and try to lift it, even if it's to the middle of the field, still has Dingeritis. But usually they have all three of those things, at least at a lot of at bats. So we're going to talk about how to spot Dingeritis as a coach, as a player, if you have it. And then we're going to talk about what it is in the swing, when you can see some things with the swing, and hopefully during that time show you some things that can probably or possibly help you get rid of it. So I'm going to pick on a really good hitter. Rebecca Chung is a sophomore, 2020 sophomore at University of Louisville, as a catcher from California. Really good player, had a really good freshman year. Ended up hitting .299 for the year. 6 home runs, 35 RBIs, and just a really, really good year. Now, I know, so this is in April of 2020. We've been going through the pandemic stuff. College programs have already had some games. She's already played in 8 games, already had 18 at-bats for 2020. Had a kind of a slow start, and what I'm worried about her is that it's possible this Dingeritis swing has kind of translated to her swing currently. Now, again, she could have just had a slow start, so I don't know that for a fact. Dingeritis is also a result these days of exaggerating launch angle. We're going to talk about attack angle, launch angle, and that type of thing. What the difference is and what the problems can be created from trying to do too much with the launch angle. So this is her side view. We're not going to talk about the side view here at this point. We're going to go back, and I normally don't do this. Don't break down swing by swing, but this is an at bat against Syracuse, about the 12th game of the year. She was hitting in the 390s at this point. Next couple of games, she stayed around 390, 395, 398, I think. Then she ended up at 299. So I think the Dingeritis is getting to her. That's another sign of Dingeritis, in that their numbers start going down, especially if you can add that up to a few things. Now, again, just like a lot of sicknesses, it's not just one thing. You try to add up all these things, you start pointing that it's possibly what's going on. So I would say that it's based on this at bat, based on her numbers and all the other stuff here, that Dingeritis is pretty strong possibility what's going on with her. So, like always, I'm going to break down the stance. Good looking stance, in a pretty good athletic position. Some bend at the waist, bend at the knees here. Hand level is, I like where her hands are pretty good. They're not too high, and wouldn't necessarily have to be any lower. So everything looks good there. The angle of the bat looks pretty good. Nothing stands out at this point. Looks like she's got a straight up stance. So looks good. As I say often, stance doesn't matter that much, but you want to be as close as you can from your stance to your launch position. And we are going to talk about her load, which is is the movement between your stance and your launch position. The load is to get you to that launch position, which is extremely important. So we are going to, this particular pitch, I'm going to show something what she does. We're going to talk about, so that's the release point right there. She's not moved a lot. She's starting to move a little bit. Okay, just a little bit, but her hands haven't done a lot. Her feet are starting to move. Release, and it's coming a long way. Now you can see the ball is releasing. Now she's starting to load. Now, one of the things, it's not always, there's a lot of girls that struggle with this. They get loaded with their load. They wait until after the release to load. You can get away with it in youth softball because the pitches are not going to be that fast, especially early in your high school when you're 14, 15, when you're playing the full-size fields. The ball's not going to get there as quick, so you can get away with starting your load late. But if you start your load late with this, at this level, you're going to struggle quite a bit. She should probably be starting her load much, much earlier. So at least right at this point, she should start slowly getting loaded at this, getting loaded back. So that's one of the things happening in this particular pitch here. She takes it. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is you can see the weight coming forward early. That's a sign of Dingeritis. That's a sign of trying to do too much of the ball. I call that jumping at the ball. You can see her physically jumping forward hard. She's trying to use her weight transfer too early, too much to drive the ball. And that's going to cause her to be late because it's creating too much distance forward too early. And it's going to kill a little bit of power. She's taking this pitch. Looks like it's at least maybe a little more than halfway. She's already taking a strike. You can tell she's already given up and taken a strike. Another sign of Dingeritis is pitchers have a tendency, it's too big. Pitchers have a tendency, this is like the inner part of the plate, that they start looking for this area, something they can pull. They look for pull. They don't look away. And because of that, they will have a tendency to take early in the count, especially strikes that are good pitches. That's a clear strike. Now I'm going to say that if everything is working good and everything, and you are swinging the bat pretty good based on the situation, that's a pretty good take. You not necessarily want to take that first pitch, but she took that looking like she gave up on it very, very quickly. Like she wasn't really wanting anything to do with that outside pitch, or at least the pitch. All right, so then this particular pitch, the video, she hits a foul ball's back. This one here, she hits a foul ball to the right side, foul area. See if she's still, yeah, the load still looks like it's pretty late. Now she's loading here, and you can see she's kind of coming up to the ball and getting a whole lot of launch angle. We'll talk about later. It's kind of coming up and trying to create some lift. And she's clearly late on the pitch. Okay, next one comes up and hits another one foul. Clearly late, pretty much the same thing. All right, now here you can see her hand starting to move back a little bit earlier. She's starting to move them back before the release. An amazing aspect of great hitters is to make adjustments in your at-bat. And she's starting to make some kind of an adjustment here that she is starting to get a little bit earlier with that. Now, she's still not early enough, and there's still some issues here, but she is starting to make some adjustments. That's a really good sign of a hitter getting better. She'll continue to make some adjustments. Now, again, this pitch, she's still coming under. You can see the ball right here. A pretty serious launch angle there. And you can see the barrel and the hands, everything coming upward that way. So her attack angle is really upward quite a bit and hits the ball foul. Okay, so then this particular hit, she gets a single a little flare to right field. Now, you do notice that she makes a little bit of an adjustment. All right, she got pretty much the same stance, but we're going to show, right, she's starting to get loaded back again. And at this point too, it looks like her weight is staying back a little bit better. So she's not jumping at it. Now she's got 0-2, she's hitting foul balls, she's late. She probably knows she has to calm things down a little bit, which is a great adjustment. So showing some maturity there. And she's still late, very, very late. She gets beat on the bat a little bit. You can see here, should be back out in this area right here, sweet spot by a couple of inches. And it pitches that same pitch as she got that first pitch. And you can see kind of a little bit of lift there as well. Not as much of a attack or a launch angle. And as said, then she gets the single to right field. By the way, the second baseman saves the double there. If she wasn't, I got to point this out. Show this. Okay, the second baseman at this point has to know she can't get to the ball, but she keeps going. So show the ball. I think that's the ball right here, maybe. All right, so it's right here. She pretty much, a lot of second baseman may say, well, the right fielder's got it. I'm not going to do too much. And she still is hustling out there. Outstanding job. Right fielder dives for the ball. Actually, I don't know why she dove for it. You can see it's pretty far away. Maybe she lost her footing. But it's not a bad risk. The ball is coming downward. It's not going to go very far. It's not a bad risk. But the second baseman hustles big time, gets out there, keeps Rebecca from getting to second. That was a really, really nice play from the Syracuse second baseman. All right, so here's the side view. Break this down quickly. A couple things I want to point here. Load, you can see the load. She's kind of loading now, still hands going back as she's going forward, so you can see that weight. Again, this is a single, so her weight transfer we know is not as bad. So she kind of, not too bad. That's where you want the weight to come forward. Pretty good. And the point right here, I want to show that we're going to see the launch angle, which is the path the ball takes off the bat. Launch angle is determined by degrees, and this would be pretty much level. So that would be 0 degrees. That's the launch angle from this angle. It's not fair because it needs to be a better view, but it's getting close. We're going to see a pretty good idea of the launch angle there, which is 53 degrees. That's a pop-up. If we wanted to get line drive, launch angle would be more like here, which would be, you're probably not going to be able to see that. So line drive would be more like here. And that degrees should be about 20, I'm guessing. 13 degrees. So you could be a little bit even higher than that. 13 to 20 degrees up there. That's quite, so that's your launch angle there. Now we can't see because the speed of the video, we can't see her bat path, which is her attack angle. That's the angle that the bat is taking at contact. But we can get a pretty good idea. You can see right there, you can see that little bit of a dip as she's kind of lifting up that front side. And you're going to see the bat go upward here, there, upward. Where you want to be at this point, more if she can stay, that bat path staying more, why is that? There we go. The bat path staying more this way. And when she makes contact here, she should still be going through this way, and then it starts coming up. Okay, she's lifting right at contact. So she's not staying through it. She's kind of lifting right there at contact. Heads on it ball really good. So it's her lifting at that very last split second, probably coming this way, kind of coming to an uppercut, and then coming up that way, which is creating her swing to be late, and that's due to her Dingeritis. We'll continue talking about Dingeritis a little bit. I'm sure that Rebecca will get this all figured out and worked on and have a really good 2021 career or season, and then her rest of her career. So this is Holly. Appreciate it, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Have a great day.